Leadership is a vital aspect of our now rather than our then, for it empowers those we trust to deliver the most vital needed resources to the hardest to reach areas of our planet. How are your leaders leading the change to a cleaner energy future? Climate actioning tailored for leaders, whether in government, business, or community roles, to guide informed decision-making and inspire action. 1. Question: what is the primary driver of climate change? A. Greenhouse gas emissions, particularly carbon dioxide, CO2, from burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. 2. Question: why should leaders prioritize climate action? A. Climate change impacts economies, health, security, and ecosystems, threatening stability and prosperity. Proactive leadership mitigates risks and seizes opportunities for sustainable growth. 3. Question: what is the Paris Agreement, and why does it matter? A. A global treaty aiming to limit warming to 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. It matters because it sets a unified framework for nations to reduce emissions collaboratively. 4. Question: how can leaders integrate climate goals into economic plans? A. By investing in renewable energy, green infrastructure, and sustainable practices, aligning economic growth with net zero targets. 5. Question: what role does renewable energy play in climate action? A. Renewables like solar and wind reduce reliance on fossil fuels, cutting emissions while creating jobs and energy security. 6. Question: how can businesses contribute to climate action? A. By adopting sustainable supply chains, reducing waste, and committing to science-based emissions targets, businesses drive innovation and influence markets. 7. Question: what is carbon neutrality, and how can leaders achieve it? A. Carbon neutrality means balancing emissions with removals, e.g., through offsets or sequestration. Leaders can achieve it by transitioning to clean energy and supporting reforestation. 8. Question: why is climate adaptation as critical as mitigation? A. Adaptation prepares communities for unavoidable impacts like rising seas or extreme weather, ensuring resilience alongside emission reductions. 9. Question: how can leaders engage communities in climate action? A. Through education, inclusive policies, and incentives for sustainable practices, fostering grassroots support and participation. 10. Question: what is the role of policy in climate action? A. Policies like carbon pricing, subsidies for renewables, and emission regulations create frameworks that drive systemic change. 11. Question: how does deforestation impact climate change? A. It releases stored carbon, reduces CO2 absorption, and disrupts ecosystems. Leaders can combat it through reforestation and sustainable land use. 12. Question: what are nature-based solutions, and why are they effective? A. Solutions like restoring wetlands or planting trees sequester carbon and enhance biodiversity, offering cost-effective, scalable benefits. 13. Question: how can leaders address climate justice? A. By prioritizing vulnerable communities, ensuring equitable access to resources, and addressing disproportionate impacts of climate change. 14. Question: what is the circular economy, and how does it help? A. A system focused on reducing waste and reusing resources. It lowers emissions by minimizing resource extraction and landfill use. 15. Question: how can leaders measure progress on climate goals? A. Through metrics like emissions reductions, renewable energy adoption rates, and resilience indicators, tracked transparently. 16. Question: why is international cooperation essential for climate action? A. Climate change is a global issue requiring coordinated efforts to share technology, finance, and knowledge across borders. 17. Question: how can leaders finance climate initiatives? A. By leveraging public-private partnerships, green bonds, and redirecting subsidies from fossil fuels to sustainable projects. 18. Question: what are the risks of inaction on climate change? A. Economic losses, mass displacement, food insecurity, and ecosystem collapse, with costs far exceeding proactive measures. 19. Question: how can technology accelerate climate action? A. Innovations like carbon capture, smart grids, and AI-driven efficiency optimize resource use and reduce emissions. 20. Question: what is the role of youth in climate leadership? A. Youth drives innovation and accountability, pushing leaders to act urgently through advocacy and creative solutions. Dine for climate action. We Creations.